Apologies for that, people. As you lot can see, when you're doing live streams, no matter how much you prepare, not everything can go right. And as you lot just saw there, for those of you that are early, you actually saw my mic was unmuted. So now I'd like to hope that my mic is unmuted and you lot can actually hear me. If not, I look like an idiot so far, and it's been an interesting 25 seconds into this live stream. But I hope you're doing well and safe, people. Welcome to another stream hosted by myself, Deluded, as usual. Obviously, I'm a big Arsenal fan, but I'm a big fan of football, so I thought we'd look at things from a neutral point of view. On your way in here, I see 12 of you. I'd love it to be 20, but 12 of you are here already. Please make sure you're hitting the like button, people, and you're also subscribing if you haven't done already. Every like makes the difference. As usual, big up the Twitch people, them as well. Twitch, I love you guys. You lot always out here supporting and whatnot. So yeah, I appreciate all of you lot. Hope you're having a good day. Hope you're having a good week. You know, we're at Thursday now. We're coming to the end of the week. Hope you've all moved that much closer towards your goals and you've all had good health. So yeah, let's crack on. The first thing I want to speak about, as you lot know, we're at a time where it's just bad news globally, and it seems to be getting worse, and very few things are more important than football. But apologies, people. Family members are one of those things, people. Family is one of those things, and nobody's an idiot. If you've seen what's going on globally, people sadly are dropping like flies, and it's a time to cherish your loved ones. And Jurgen Klopp, and this is what I mean, you don't know what somebody's going through, you know, like Jurgen Klopp, I don't know the specifics on the illness his mother has been going through, but he could have been soldiering this forever, and he's had to just get on with things being Liverpool's gaffer. So sometimes when you see how people react in press conferences, there's sometimes more than leads on. It's crazy, man, because, you know, things are not, you know, there's very few things more important than football. But as you lot can see in this headline, Jurgen Klopp has paid a heartfelt tribute to his late mother, who died at the age of 81. Klopp was sadly unable to travel back to his native Germany this week for the funeral of Mum Elizabeth due to COVID-19 related restrictions. Now, that's the craziest thing for me anyways. I know COVID is COVID and things, but I'm pretty sure Jurgen Klopp, as any son would try to move heaven and earth, I'm sure, you know, he tried to explore some of the things that his money could do for him to get there. So let alone his mother dying, not to be able to attend the funeral, not being able to truly say goodbye, you know, in the morgue or at a funeral or wherever, it's something that's going to pain him for the rest of his life. And football isn't much, you know. Football is going to be a great strength for him, and especially a club like Liverpool where you never walk alone. But it's very upsetting. As you can see, he said there, you know, he congratulated her for her life, and he said she meant everything to me. She was a real woman in the best sense of the word. You know, she was a devout religious woman. As you can see, she's a Christian there. It's upsetting, man. You know, R.I.P. Elizabeth and all of those sort of things. It's really sad, man. It really is sad. And, you know, the only saving grace you could say, you know, is that she saw her son go from a young boy that she carried and looked after and wiped his bum and that to you know, winning a Champions League, winning a Premier League, you know, doing all these great things globally. At least his mother got to witness that, and, you know, life never ends for me. It's always there. She's always going to be with you. The news doesn't get much better, people. Apologies why I make a timestamp of that. Sorry, people, for those of you that are obviously not in this live stream. Apologies, people. So yeah, cracking on with even more worse, but it just goes from bad to worse. You know, I hate to be the bearer of bad news, people, but as you lot can see here, Polish model, let me do that again. Apologies again, because I'm aware, again, people, I'm just trying to have the best service for you guys that are actually not here. But let's crack on. As you lot can see here, Polish model Kaza Lenhart, apologies for mispronunciation, killed herself on her son's 6th birthday, a week after splitting from Jerome Boateng. As friends say, I hope the truths come out. It's a crazy story, and we're not going to speculate. I'm just going to tell you, look, what it is. Big up the 45 people here. Please hit the like button. The 25-year-old was found dead in Berlin on Tuesday night, which a friend said was her son's 6th birthday. Spare a thought for the young man, because it's not his fault. But you can imagine somebody in that situation, they're gonna act like they're gonna shoulder on the blame that it's their fault their mum died. What did my mum do to me? Even a 6-year-old, as someone myself that dealt with death very early on, I can tell you, you comprehend these things, and I hope he doesn't go through life blaming himself for something that's not his. And obviously, when he's old enough to truly comprehend what happened, you know, the fact that his mum's died on his birthday, is he ever gonna have a happy birthday? So it's crazy, people. As you lot can see here, you know, I'm not gonna get into the soap opera, but long and short of it, you know, the young lady has obviously had a relationship with Jerome Boateng. It's not his child, but from a previous relationship. But you know, she's got with Jerome Boateng. Things have turned sour and things like that. And unfortunately, she's killed herself. And I think actually Jerome Boateng travelled as part of the club, as part of Bayern Munich's World Club Cup Championships, out to wherever they're playing, to play in that tournament you get in via winning the champs. But I think he's actually been excused. You can imagine his headspace. And you know, I don't know the specifics of why people do these things or why this has happened and all of this. I'm not going to speculate, but I'd say without knowing any details, I hope Jerome Boateng doesn't make out that it's his fault, doesn't blame himself, sort of thing, people, which is quite crazy. You know, apparently she was home alone when she died. Noah is her only child. She was born when she's 19. As you don't know, Boateng's got 3 kids. I don't know why it's including half of this because it's not really irrelevant. But apparently yesterday was her son Noah's birthday. Cassia was at home on her own. A member of her family called the police because they could not get hold of her and they were worried. She died a week after Jerome gave an interview in which he said their relationship was over. He said some really nasty things about Cassia, which she was very upset by. Again, I'm not going to listen. I'm just reading what it is. Her death was confirmed on Wednesday. And it's upsetting, people, you know, whatever way you look at it, you know, good times there. A young lady, 25 years of age, same age as me, has lost their life. She got everything going for her. She got a child, at the least of it. So again, not going to speculate, but it is upsetting that somebody would see fit to take their life, people. So it isn't quite positive to start off this live stream, to put it nicely, people, but we have a duty. Life is, you know, we can't just talk. Life isn't just fairy tales and ice cream and chocolate bars, people. We need to speak about everything. So is what it is in that regards. But now we've got the doom and gloom out of the way, people, to put it nicely, we can start talking about other things, people. What are you lot saying? Please make sure you're hitting that like button. There's 58 of you in here. Please make sure you're hitting the like button. Dermot is saying, people, it's come like he gets paid to say that. Birds is saying, salute DG, big up yourself. I saw you in here from early T, so I really appreciate you, man. I really appreciate you. Things like that make me want to keep going, man, because it's just to know that one person is waiting for me to go live or bring out some content or whatever, you know, it warms your heart, really and truly. So I appreciate that. Danny, I hope you're good as well. Please make sure you hit the like button. You know, he wears his Zach, he does wear his emotions on his sleeves, and days are not going to get better. I just hope Jurgen Klopp and his family members can just find the strength to just keep progressing in it. Listen, I've dealt with a lot of death in it, and I used to hate when people said patronizing things to me. So I'm not going to say the cliches. All I'm going to do is say you learn to live with it, you learn to accept it, and I hope that can, you know, he can find some strength to just keep going. Because like I always say to you, look, the beautiful thing, but the you know, depending how you look at it, and it helps me. The benefit and the one beauty of life, and the harshest thing I feel about life is it keeps going, you know, and the maddest thing could happen to you, it keeps going. So it all depends, man. And I'm sure, you know, she wouldn't want to see her son too upset like any mom. She want to see her get down. And of course, she's smiling from better places at her son and what he's doing, people. So it is what it is in that regards. What are you lot saying, people? Wayne has said, I remember when the thumbnails used to be pigeons and a bench. Now you got your own personalized thing. We see the progression. Thanks, my guy. I've been putting in a couple hours shifts still. It still ain't making no sense. I'm on YouTube all the time anyways, my dude, but I'm on YouTube not making content, reading and watching and things like that. And obviously, as you know, with anything, it's self-explanatory. You got to learn and you got to make mistakes and stuff. So a little bit of progress here and there, starting to make sense. You know, I do a little bit on Adobe. Adobe makes sense per se to me. Photoshop didn't even, like, it's the same concept with the layers, but I had to get my head around that, and now gradually things are falling into place. So I appreciate that, man. I really appreciate that. Jason, I'm good. Big up all the members, them, you know. If M's not here, AM is, man, you know. I really appreciate you lot. And I know C's probably in the, I haven't looked, but I know C's probably here. Exactly. Sadly, commenting on sad things that I had to speak about, but here nonetheless, I appreciate all of you lot. And also, Cam, I see you. Chris Garner has said, I'm a Liverpool fan, but I love your content. Man's going to get big. Hopefully one day, man. Who knows? Who knows? We just keep working. We keep progressing. Feels like you can't really, you know, it feel like a bit like a manager who's just trying to get 3 points week in, week out. And you're kind of wondering what is the end goal here, but it is what it is, man. I hope everybody's well and safe. I have heard about Partey's injury, people, and again, and Kieran Tierney's, and obviously it is what it is. We knew they were both probably unlikely to feature at the weekend. I'm sure as a true Arsenal fan, you had small hope that he would, especially because the short of it is there are two best players, really, two of our best players, to be fair with you. So we'll have to see what happens in that regards, but we're gonna have to get on with it. First and foremost, injuries are part and parcel of a season. We all know how much an injury can derail a season, but I'm not being funny. In August, you know that you might have injuries, and it's down for the club to pull together. Obviously, that's where you need to bring in suitable personnel, but that's where the whole 25-man squad, I'm sure of you, a lot of you that watch me on a regular basis, you know, I never really talk down the squad thing, whether you're starting 11, you play once in 10 games, your rotation. I just think the whole squad needs to be utilized. And as much as I obviously on the best of days, we'll struggle against Leeds, as we have been struggling this season. And to be without our best midfielder, to be without our best left back and an attacking threat, and Partey can actually pass the ball forward, it's an L. We're going to have to get on with it, you know. There's no way around it, you know. We've got to play Bielsa. They got the bit between their teeth. You even seen, what's his name, Alioski. I think Leeds have doing their own little podcast on their channel. He said he's looking forward to playing here because he's playing against his friend Pepe. For me, if I'm Pepe, I'm seeing that as cool. Let me learn my lesson and not bone out. But I'm going to effing destroy you in a footballing sense. I'm gonna nutmeg you. I'm gonna make sure match of the day, whether it's Danny Murphy, Alan Shearer, Ian Wright, Gary Lineker, they're spending 5-6 minutes on Leeds' mistakes and specifically what you should be doing. You know, Leeds are probably thinking we're small fry. You know, Leeds have troubled some tough teams in the Prem. And we, you know, maybe depending on how you look at it, we were lucky to get a point there. So we know what it is to not be without them. Personally, I can't lie, people. I don't know, man. Part of me just wants Saka to do a job there just until Tierney's back, because again, Cedric has done his thing, and I'm not being reactionary because Cedric has done his thing this season. But I just feel when you do these stopgap things, whether it's, you know, Cedric on either side, Maitland on either side, historically Bellerin, you know, with every couple of games, we're going to say, cool, they've turned a leaf. These are the guys now. With every iffy game, we're looking at it. And again, Cedric don't deserve to be dropped, but I just feel Saka offers the most. I don't think Cedric's glaringly better than him defensively. I feel Saka's position is quite cool there. I do think Saka obviously gives you a lot. Of course, we'll be taking him off the right or the left where he's been excelling for us, but I'd rather that, to be fair. Who plays as our front three is another question, because Saka's probably the only real performing player there. Pepe of late, of course, probably increases the chances of William probably starting. And you're right, man. You know, if I'm there, I'm like, yeah, cool. You think it's a bad thing playing Arsenal? I'm going to absolutely destroy you. That's the mentality he needs to come with, people. But if I swap my screen, for those of you who don't know or unaware or, you know, just ain't been around, apparently Thomas Partey and Kieran Tierney are to miss Arsenal versus Leeds on Sunday due to injuries. Thomas Partey to be assessed ahead of the Europa League tie against Benfica. So, of course, you know, mathematically, we still have a decent chance of qualifying for Europe. I know it's taking a blow. We're losing, you know, we're dropping points. We need to get back on the train. So to be without Partey is a blow to doing such, as you lot know, people. But at the same time, I think that kind of tells you we've kind of put all our eggs in the Europa League basket finally, innit? You know, Partey, you need to be fit for that. We need to try and win the first leg, give ourselves the best platform going into the second. As you lot know, we're in the toughest month of the season. I know me and all of you lot were saying that before, but we are. You know, we are. We've got Leeds. You know, the games we've had prior. We've got Leeds. You know, we've got Leicester and City to come. We've got the the Benfica clashes. The games aren't getting any easier. This is where I need to see mentality. This is where people need to stand up to be counted. This is where, if I'm Mikel Arteta, I'm looking at certain players and saying, cool, you might not be able to play for me next season if I'm still here. I don't know if I could believe in you, really and truly. So to be without them's poor. Obviously, Tierney's not been involved for a couple of games, and apparently his injury is due to fatigue. So we've probably overplayed him, like with a lot of players we've had to over rely on, which is a testament to them, but a problem for us. Obviously, in relation to Thomas Partey, it's concerning because he's hardly ever injured at Atletico, and then he comes here, and as you can see here, has only completed 90 minutes 4 times since he moving in October. So it might be something that's down to him. It might be doing something to do with when players get injured initially. Are we rehabilitating in the right place? Because we've had him come off against Southampton. We've had him come off in his last game. He had an injury in the build up to Spurs. We gambled with his fitness, and that cost us on a footballing on the pitch because of the mistake, and we lost him for a long time. So is there something we're not doing with his rehab? Is our medical team messing it up in that regards? Are we collaborating with the coaches and stuff? Because not all injuries, or at least I'm not a genius in it. I don't know nothing about injuries. I never went uni for no injuries, but I'm a footballing person. I know not every injury. How do I make this make sense? Not every injury is as a result of just playing those 90 minutes. Sometimes it's because of training, It's not to say training is intense. It's that build-up of lactic acid and all of those sort of things. And as you lot know, everybody's different. Every player is different. So are we managing their workloads good enough? Are we doing enough in terms of recovery and rehab? I know a lot of you have played football. You're never fully fit. We was talking about this on Rancy's stream. You're never fully fit as a footballer. You've always got a little knock, a little ache, a little something. Are we doing the right thing in that regards, people? Is Partey doing the right thing? Because you see a lot of players now, they take their own health into their own hands. Gareth, we're going to get onto it, but Gareth Bale and Jose, I don't want to spoil it because I don't know who of you hasn't listened, but Bale has surprised Jose because apparently Bale wanted the scan and all them sort of things. Do you not remember people got on to Paul Pogba because he either had surgery or didn't? United fans would know, but he either had surgery or didn't have surgery or weren't playing and putting himself on the line. For whatever reason, maybe Partey's not managing himself good enough. We hear Partey is someone that wants to play football all the time. Maybe this goes against him, and it's concerning because, he's 27 or 26, 27, however old he is. He's prime time, and he's a good player. So to have this, it's annoying, and I don't wish injury on anyone, but isn't it jarring as an Arsenal fan how it's always the good players, the good players who are injured, never the rubbish ones. Not that I wish injury or bad health on anybody, people. Obviously, it's an L because we ain't got players at a crucial time where we need to win and all of these sort of things. Apparently, one positive, though, apparently he'll be integrated, Tierney, that is, be integrated back into training next week. So that could be a positive for us. He's not played since January the 18th, people. And maybe that's been the reason we've struggled to score goals, which, again, is testament to Tierney. Is concerning of a football club that wants to be a Champions League team. You should be able to win games if your left back isn't there. We'll also be, welcome back Leno and David Luiz as they serve their suspensions. Leno, for me, should come back into the team. David Luiz should occupy the subs bench, people. So it is what it is. It ain't put a date on when or given anything in relation to when Partey will return. Like I was saying when he was injured against Spurs, only return if you're fit. Like, I only want him to return if he's fit or he's of no help to us. Yeah, you might get 90 minutes out of him, but he's injured for the next 5. And we've played halfway through the season and we've got Europa League and all of these things to come into it. It's not making much sense, is it, people? But it is what it is in that regards, people. That is it in relation to Kieran Tierney and Thomas Partey's fitness levels. If you're just coming in, hit the like button. But as I have just said, Kieran Tierney and Thomas Partey will play no part against Leeds as they haven't passed fitness tests and they're injured. It's as simple as that, people. So, yeah. I'm bugging out, people. I'm sure a lot of you that are eagle-eyed. Why does he make it 2? He should be doing that. Oh, and there we have that. So it is what it is in that regard. We mentioned injuries. It's only right we speak about Jose Mourinho. Let me see what you lot are saying in the comments. There's 85 of you locked in. Please make sure you're hitting the like button. Liam has said, are you happy with Matt Ryan's performance? Yeah, purely because off the top of my head, you're the only player that I couldn't really ask more from. Like, you weren't at fault for the goal. There's nothing you could have done. You made some saves, you did. I feel sorry for him. As a keeper, I'm sure the best debut he would have loved to have is a clean sheet. Obviously, you want to make some heroic save, but I'm sure a clean sheet. So to be, to not be given a clean sheet and also not to win on your debut, 2 factors where I think he didn't play a part in. It could have been worse if he didn't save off. I think he was unlucky. It's better performance than what I've seen with Runnison. Again, I don't think Matt Ryan is the best keeper to write home about, but hopefully he can be a competent backup keeper if required. Done what he could, got nothing against it. That's all I wanted. It is what it is, man. Ben has said, did you watch the Spurs game last night? It was a really good game. I watched it. Mad game, mad game, mad game. You know, cricket score, 9 goal or so, thriller. Magic of the FA Cup is real, people. I told you lot. You know, where she got. You know, Everton running away with it, then Spurs coming back in the game, then extra time. You know, I'm pretty sure if you was to ask Carlo or Jose and both coaching staffs, none of them, when the emotion dies down, definitely with Everton, I'm sure, you know, they're going to have a lot of work to do on the training ground, you know, because again, all of them goals were comical. You know, there were some good finishes. I really enjoyed Calvert-Lewin's one. I like the one where Richarlison was just about to lose his footing and struck. Obviously, Bernard's winner at the end was a good strike, but none of them goals, when I look at it, my guy, it's not a thing where you quality strikes, but it's not a thing where you've conceded to a wonderful bit of individual brilliance. There's been some sort of errors leading to the goals, or positionally people have been switched off. It was a lovely game from a neutral point of view to watch, people. It really was. Obviously, Kane come off the bench. I'm sure Jose's vexed for several reasons. He didn't win. Obviously, unnecessarily went to extra time, and you know, Kane had to come off the bench, and there were rested players, but you had Kane, you had Son, you had a couple of players that played a significant part of this game. Going into Man City, we're going to have to see what happens in that regards, people. But in relation to Gareth Bale not being a part, it got me thinking, you know, because Jose, I think one thing Jose struggles with is the empathy thing. Not empathy as a human point of view, but empathy for a player. Like I'm not putting him against Arsene Wenger, but the Arsene Wenger arm around you sort of thing. And I think some players need that, especially in this day and age. And I think that works for him and against him. Look how Martial and Shaw, for example, have played much better since he's been gone. Equally, he does help because Rashford always names him as a quality guy that's changed his outlook. But one thing he is angry about is when he doesn't feel players are playing themselves through the playing barrier or playing and stuff, which could be a problem, people. Because as you lot know, as it says here, Jose Mourinho surprised by events that led to Gareth Bale's absence at Everton, people. Oh, that is the wrong thing I was doing there. But apologies quickly, people. When did we start talking about Bale? It was minute 20. Sorry, people. One day we'll have someone paid to do the timestamps. But back to this, people. As you lot know, the Tottenham forward Bale had a scan after not feeling comfortable. Jose said, I don't think it's an obvious injury, which could be of concern. You know, it's always these injuries you don't see coming. But he expressed being surprised at events that led to Bale declaring himself unfit. And the time when, you know, Spurs are losing games, the whole squad needs to be together, they're dropping points. He could say you're not down for the cause. And to be fair with you, it looks like a very costly loan spell. If Bale hit the ground running, he'd probably be there on a free transfer. But who knows? He said, what did he say here? As you lot saw, he said he's surprised. He said, I think it's better for me to say we played against West Brom on Sunday and he didn't play. He was on the bench. Monday, I was a bit surprised by him wanting to have a scan because he was not feeling comfortable. I'm sure Bale doesn't want to play, so I'm inclined to believe this is serious. He also said he didn't train on Monday. Then on Tuesday, he trained with the team, but I was informed his desire would be to work with the sports work with the sports scientists, I think he means, for a couple of days to strengthen that area where he's not feeling comfortable. Now, I'll say this, you know, nobody knows your body better than you. If you don't feel 100% fit, you've got to do what you got to do. And especially at a time like this where Bale's not going to be able to play too many more years as a professional footballer. And also there's a financial aspect. You've got to take care of yourself, really and truly. So if he's feeling a knock, there's an issue there, but you can see how that can become a problem. We've all seen the previous things that come out about, do you want to go back to Madrid? And based on current form, you know, probably shouldn't stay at Spurs, you know, barring an uptake in form. Like you can see here, it went on to say he couldn't be 100% and all of these sort of things. So we'll have to see what happens in that regards, people. But it might be more of the same. Let's speak about Donny van der Beek, people, as I see a lot of you in the comment section going crazy and saying it's too early. No, write him off. No, it's too early. Write him off and all of those sort of things, people. So if we was to quickly speak about Donny van der Beek, for what it's worth, people, for what it's worth for me, I can't even spell Van der, do the abbreviation thing. But for what it's worth for me, people, where is it? In relation to Van der Beek, personally, these are my thoughts before I get into it. I think it's too early to write a man off as a footballer. I think he's 23 years of age. I think, he looks like a player that just needs a hug. He looks like I said it already, the Arsene Wenger sort of player. It looks like he needs a little hug. I think Ollie can do that, because one thing I don't think United fans, not that I can tell them anything, can't say about Ollie. I think he's got that togetherness. I think his man management of a person is better, is one of the good things, one of the positives. And I think he needs an arm around him. Is he hard body? Which at the same time, as much as he needs that, I don't think United have time for these. Like Arsenal, United ain't really got time for guys that need the arm around them. Apologies, I meant to say, Van der Beek. I don't know why I'm doing Van der Vaart, people. That's the first sort of guy I saw with that V abbreviation thing, or Van der Sar. Yeah, like I was saying, United haven't really got time. It's like us with Pepe. To a degree, Pepe needed an arm around him. You need that from your manager. But at the same time, the club don't have time for this. We need people that get it straight away, which other people do. So maybe United ain't got time for it, people. Maybe he's just not a right fit for United, whether that's tactically or personality or the way the team plays. I don't think you can question his quality. He came up there with the Ajax ballers and that. And I think when you look at those Ajax, the Ajax team, nobody's really excelling of sorts. Deluded is going from strength to strength. But when you're speaking of best centre halves in the world, you're not necessarily saying he's the first name. He's up there, but he's not the first name. I personally thought he was going to be that and should be that. De Jong's doing okay at Barca, but he's hardly ringing bells or in the debates off the top of it right now, where we're talking about best midfielders. Obviously, the quality of these players can't be underestimated. Ziyech has been injured, but he ain't really here off at Ajax, and he's a bit different. I mean, for Chelsea, and it's been a bit different. I don't think you can question his quality. I don't think they should write him off at United, because first and foremost, football is a squad game. And I think one thing that he hasn't been given, and I don't know it, but it ain't been, and you need to earn it, but I don't think he's been given a run of games in that side. He ain't, so it's difficult. He's still learning and adapting. So he looks like a softer character, so he's probably got a lot of adapting to do. He probably doesn't even believe he's a Man United player yet. He looks, a lot of it is mental. And I think you can never have too many good players. If Pogba leaves, if Bruno's injured or Pogba's injured, you've got Van der Beek. You've got people that complement. He's got legs. He makes good runs. He's not always being found, but he makes good runs. He's got technical quality. I just think it's a personality thing with him. But there's got to be something more. He looks like, as an outsider looking in, this is all as an outsider looking in, people. This is all as an outsider looking in. His confidence looks shot. When even the last game, when the subs thing went up. For me, if you're looking over instantly and that it's your number, it's because either psychologically, the manager's not going to give you a chance, or you don't believe you're playing elite. 1 second. Invictus, of course, he's only 20 years of age. I'm just saying I would have thought he would have been up there because he's a man monster. You're right. He's 20 and he's in Italy. He's learning a lot, but do you get it? So I don't think they should write off Van der Beek. I think he's got quality. I also feel, if Paul Pogba's future is up for debate, then you've got Van der Beek, who's a different player, but can give you that. Also, last time I looked, he's only completed 90 minutes in the league once and 3 times in all competitions overall. So what can you expect a man to do? But ultimately, maybe he's not showing enough in training, It's difficult. I don't think they should write him off purely because he's 23 years of age and I think he has quality. It's down to him, but I just think they should write him off. I didn't think they needed to go for him at the time. Personally, I didn't see how away from his quality, I didn't see how he complimented them. But, I think he's a good player. And if they were to sell him, there's still a lot more to come. The man's only 23, which to a degree would concern me because I would want to see a lot more. But at the same time, I think he's cool, man. He's 23 years of age. A lot could happen. In terms of the comments I made in relation to his the games he's played, if we look at, he's played 12 times in the league, 300 minutes. He's got 1 goal, 1 assist. He has played well in some stages, He's got 90 in the Champions League there, and he got 60 odd minutes in 2 other games, but 90 once there. In the league, obviously he's adapting to the team and things like that. But it's hard to show what you can really do if you're not getting significant minutes. Like, look, he got 90 minutes against Southampton. That's it so far in the league. FA Cup did his thing against Watford, and there's obviously times he's not played well. Obviously, you can't just have one opinion. I think there's a lot more to come. I don't know if he fits the system. I don't know if mentally he's cut out for United or the Premier League. But what I do know is that he's got the quality to succeed at Man United. And I just think it'd be too early to write him off, really and truly, man. Because for me, I always look at what a player is doing when things aren't going well. And I would say he looks at his confidence looks shocked, but he's still making those runs. He's just not being found. So there's maybe some adaptation. Obviously, if Pogba leaves, I do expect United to sign someone else, but he's someone that could be used. And he's 23, people. He's 23. So it is what it is in that regard. I don't feel they should clip him, get rid of him, or any of that sort of stuff just yet. But what do I know? It's not, it's just my opinion. Fair play. Sorry, people. There we go. Timestamps. We're doing all right. Hope you're doing well, Kingsley. Chia said, Ollie tries to use Van der Beek too far up. He doesn't understand how Donny plays. So how would you use him? How would you use him? Aya said, Pogba is leaving. Van der Beek was brought in a year earlier as a replacement. Interesting, in which this adaptation period could be something of extreme benefit for him then. Please make sure you're hitting the like button, people. Please make sure you're hitting the like button. There's 135 of you locked in. There's 85 likes. Come on, people. We can do a bit better in that regards. Can we at least touch 100? So that's what it is in relation to that. We've spoken about Jose. What else? We've spoken about Partey. What else have we got here, people? Now, this is something that annoyed me personally because I don't really like the way this was reported personally, quickly. As you lot can see here, the Daily Mail have said Manchester United's 37 million Ahmed Diallo is fined 42k for falsifying documents and using bogus parents to push through his move to Italy from Ivory Coast. So first and foremost, yeah, the man's 18. Yeah, I don't know how old he was to when he went from Ivory Coast to Italy, but I could imagine he was extremely younger than 18. He must have been 5 or 6 or 7 as his parents fled their country or left from their country to seek a better life, as a lot of people do, and things like that. And to be fair with you, I think it's lovely that he's not only progressed through teams, he's able to, hopefully his United contract and the money he's gone for, secure his family's future, because you could imagine, with all due respect to his parents, you know how this story goes. They're in historical low paying jobs, either a cleaner or whatnot, just trying to make ends meet, looking after their son. So when I see things like Diallo, Asu Fati, I love it. You can't begrudge people for wanting to have a better life. You've got people over here that are leaving the country and putting other nations at risk with COVID just because they don't want to be in the country, So how could you get at them? And this is for me, it's about the reporting, because what does this now, what are the things going to have? You can imagine, if not already, they've probably said this youth is fake age. You can imagine, this is always going to be something that's unnecessarily brought up. For me, this gives the impression that this is a sinister 18-year-old who's been conniving enough to dodge, to beat the law and illegally cross over when he's an infant. He's doing whatever his parents would do in people to get him over. Him and his brother Hamad Traore, they're speaking about, who is, I believe, is currently at Sassuolo and is an equally talented player in his own right. But as you lot can see here, and again, it's all about, Chris Wheeler, you're a scumbag for this, man. Twat. But as you lot can see here, people, Ahmed Diallo has been fined 42k in Italy over allegations he used fake documents of bogus parents to move from Europe to Ivory Coast. According to Italian football's governing body, he's been handed out a fine, him and his brother. They accepted a plea bargain to avoid a ban. Obviously, shout out to the young 18-year-old living the dream, playing for Manchester United now. He's doing his thing. Apparently, a statement said that the two players used false certifications that allowed them to reunite in Italy with fake parents. The two requested the application of the sanctioned pursuant to R126 of the Code of Sports Justice. That is the plea bargain. As you lot can see here, people, I'm not going to read out the quotes, but Hamad's been given 48, and this guy's been given 48,000 euros as well, £42. So as you lot can see here, the investigation looked into allegations that a child trafficking ring of 5 adults smuggled the two boys on a family visa 6 years ago, including 2 who falsely claimed to be their mother and father, Hamad Traore and Marina. Can't pronounce that. And it wouldn't surprise me. It's what a lot of people do, trying to have a better life. But again, you can't. It's not that it's sins, but you can't cast the sins of people's parents onto the young man. This is a young man who's 18 years of age. Could you put yourself in the headspace where you're 18, let alone moving to Manchester United, let alone being a big money signing, a wonder kid, and all of these things in today's day and age with the social media? What is this? What is this? Really? Really? It's really, and apparently they're saying they're not brothers and all of these sort of things. But again, They weren't even 18 at the time of moving. So I'm not going to carry on with this. I just think it's very disgraceful. And as a journalist, I'd imagine there's some sort of code of ethics or way of going about things before you say certain things and reporting. You know, there was a way to report that normally, but clearly scumbags are going to do what scumbags do. So Traore, Ahmad Traore and Hamad, just keep doing your thing, man. They can't tell you nothing. Quite annoying. But moving away from that, please make sure you're hitting the like button. There's 150 here, you people. And this is it as well, man. You know, what does the price tag have anything to do with it? You know, like Zach is saying, papers like the Daily Mail will always gaslight, which fuels some ignorant mindsets. You can imagine the comments and how the Twitter engagements. A lot is sadly going on, man. Bro, I don't read the Daily Mail. Just 9 times out of 10 when I type in Arsenal, it's something to do with you with Arsenal. If I didn't have to do live streams and find not of a credible source, but a website without too many pop-ups and one that the ad blocker works on, I would not be on the Daily Mail. But it is what it is in that regards. Please make sure you're hitting that like button, people. Please make sure you're hitting that like button. We're 99 likes, people. Who's gonna be that 100th? That's it. It's always the ones that didn't have to struggle, man, that put people down. You know, it's crazy. It's absolutely crazy, man. Sad, 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 sad. But man, it's been a bit of a doom and gloom one, man. You know, they're triggered. You know, the man's left. You know, if his family has had to leave a country, I can imagine that they went with nothing, with absolutely nothing when they left their nation. So, you know, when they left Ivory Coast. So to actually become a footballer and get some finances and be able to look after your family and give them a life that they probably couldn't have imagined, it's sad. You know, 6 years ago. And for me, the only point, I don't even care when it came out, is the fact that he's a child. He has nothing to do with it. You know, he has nothing to do with it. If he was English, they'd do the same thing. But if he went and played for the English national team, you know, conveniently, when it would be something that's attributed to success, you would see England, Joe Blogs, or then when it wouldn't be banging, you would see of who is playing for England, but is of this descent. And the same goes for a lot of countries. It's quite sad because that report will be the same guy probably proclaiming him as a messiah if he scores on his Man United debut and all of those sort of things. It's quite upsetting, man. Absolutely upsetting. Please make sure you're hitting the like button, people. Please make sure you're hitting the like button. It's quite a slow news day, people. It's quite a slow news day. I'm sure you've all heard. Apparently, Patrick Vieira has been interviewed for the Bournemouth job, people. John Terry's been snubbed for that, but apparently Patrick Vieira has been interviewed for the Bournemouth job. It'd be interesting to see if he rocks up in the Championship, people. We'll have to see. If you're an Arsenal fan, apparently Diallo. Not Diallo, sorry. I'm not talking about Diallo. Apparently, Sead Kalajinac's people, or his director, the director of his current loan club, has said that he could stay, really. So let me bring that one up for you quickly, people. Here. It's the first time I'm coming across it. Bundesliga side Schalke are keen to keep Arsenal defender Sead Kalajinac beyond his loan spell, but can only do so if they avoid relegation, which we haven't learned anything new there. This is just the guy's comments. Where is it here, people? Apparently, he said they would love to sign the Bosnian permanently, as you can see here. And apparently that is our absolute dream. He's an incredibly good guy, lives for the club and pushes and pulls the cart. Sead embodies Schalke like nobody else. Of course, it is our wish to keep him until the end of his career and beyond. So there might even be a little coaching role for you, Kalajinac, which would be of benefit to Arsenal. What is this? The Boot Room are reporting something. I think this is what we spoke about yesterday in relation to Quendozi. Apparently, Fabrizio Romano said they appreciate the talent, they appreciate the player. They were thinking like he should be a starter, not just one of the midfielders. When a player comes back, a lot of situations could change. Arsenal are open with Matteo, so we'll have to see what happens. But I thought that was something new. I thought the Ceballos thing, because I'm so sure I saw a report about Arsenal have no interest in making Ceballos' loan spell permanent. But there ain't nothing here, people. As you lot can see, we're being mocked. You know, we're being mocked. Not that I want to read these things, people, but as an Arsenal fan, if you're a player, you know, let your talking happen on the field. But as you lot can see here, Alioski wants to play, people. Where is it? According to teammate Patrick Bamford, the Macedonian has already declared his excitement to see his mate Pepe again, appearing on the official Leeds United podcast. Oh, pop-ups. Apologies, people. Where is it? Yeah, where's it gone? Yeah, according to the official appearing on the official Leeds United podcast, it was suggested to Bamford that Arsenal may not be able to handle Alioski winding them up. Bamford said, "Do you know what?" He said in the change room the other day, "I can't wait for Sunday." I was like, "Why?" He was like, "I'm playing against my mate Pepe again." I was like, "No way." So you know what you need to do there. Um, and he said, "Yeah, we know he's a wind up, man. We know he's a wind up. I'm a wind up when I play football. People, we'll have to see." There's something else there. It caught my eye. What was that about Arsenal paying compensation for something? Shout out to Wenger chatting to Odegaard when he was 15, trying to bring him to the club. What's this? What the hell is this? Arsenal forced to pay Benfica 44,000 compensation after their Europa League tie was removed to Rome because the UK government put Portugal on the red list, people. So, and they've been warned not to swap shirts. UEFA rules dictate that the Gunners must pay 10% of their match fees to Benfica. There is no match fees because who's earned there? Clubs earn it's not a match fee, so I guess it's for the players actually playing, not the gate receipts. But clubs earn approximately 440k for appearing in Europa League's last 32. So surely we can get that P back from the government because it's a government imposed ban. But for what it's worth, Arsenal will be forced to pay 44 K to Benfica. As you lot know, people, with restrictions have meant we're playing in Italy as well as Greece over these next 2 Europa League games. So yeah, we have to pay 10% of our earnings to Benfica. So Benfica are laughing, especially if they knock us out, people. As you lot know, there's always talk of a new strain of COVID every day. Arsenal's away leg to Benfica will now take place at the Stadio Olimpico in Rome, which is the home of AS Roma, people. We'll have to see. So yeah, is what it is, people. We'll have to pay them the money. Hopefully the government reimburse the football club. Anything past that, who knows? These things we spoke about yesterday, Ozil still being thrown up there. So it is what it is in that regards. I won't bore you lot. Pepe has to spin him. Pepe has to spin him. Spin him. Bro, imagine Patrick Vieira and Wilshere. I'll probably have to buy a Bournemouth shirt for that, man. I have to support wherever things go, man. Oh, to be fair with you, I agree. But who won at the end of the day? He got a man sent off. Tierney's not going to bang him. So it's about us challenging our energy. I'm not going to lie. First 5 minutes, 50-50. You know what time it is with Alioski. Let him know you're there. Let him know he's in for a mad thing. Let him know what time it is. Bro, I do think Van der Beek could be a good fit for us, but we all know that one there is not happening. What has Kieran said? He done something similar last year when we played them in the FA Cup, trying to play mind games before the game. But if Pepe plays on the right, I hope he cooks Alioski. I hope he cooks him and then cooks him again, man. I don't want Alioski to have a career after him, and I want him to not be able to go on YouTube with typing in his name without seeing him get ripped. I mean, that your manager's a bit harsh, but yeah, definitely just, first 50-50, go in there, leave something in a healthy footballing sort of sense, people. I did think yesterday I saw a comment. One of you that was asking me to speak about this, people. Now, I don't know too much about it. It's the first time I've purposely not read this, but there's been a lot of talk in relation to UEFA changing the Champions League rules and all of these things, people. So we'll have to see. UEFA's proposals for Champions League reform not challenged by a single association at the meeting. So it tells you it's sanctioned, people. UEFA is hoping the new format, aiming to be launched in 2021, will guarantee clubs more games and revenue and will avert the threat of a breakaway Super League. Plans will see increase of clubs taking part, with each team guaranteed at least 10 games against different opponents. So financially, every team seems to eat. Obviously, if there is a Super League and this new tournament, one has to wonder, the teams get to compete in both? If so, how do you quantify which one is the bigger, which one is the one you take more seriously? But nobody opposed it. All 55 member associations held a 2-hour conference call chaired by the UEFA president, people. And like you can see, the competition will go from 32 to 36 people. UEFA is hoping the new format, which will guarantee clubs more games and more revenue, will avert the breakaway of the Super League. Each team, as I once said, will be given 10 games, and it'll be based on a Swiss model, so-called. we'd see, we'd see a bunch of more teams enter. The total number, games, the total number of games in the competition would go from 125 to 225. So 100 more games. What does that tell you? 100 more gate receipts, 100 more potential big games, 100 more streaming and sponsorships and adverts and the rest of it, and finances. This is all also about people, really and truly. Also, UEFA reaffirmed its intent to keep games at all 12 host cities subject to an ongoing review of the corona pandemic. In relation to what the new proposals mean for qualifying, though, and especially those in England, at least I hope so. Under new proposals, it's understood 3 clubs will qualify based on their UEFA coefficient, which looks at the past performance, which means United, United and Madrid are laughing. Even if they don't qualify conventionally, they're still in, people. So again, you can see how this is designed for keeping the big monopoly, the historic clubs in the thing together, people, which you could say is good, especially somehow if Arsenal could twang their way back into that. But on the other hand, it's bad because monopoly shouldn't be broken. People should be in competitions, not of prestige or of name, but of what they're doing right now. And if they've qualified, many, and again, one has to wonder if there's more teams. It's not going to be every big European team, is it? You're probably still going to have a couple of joke teams. So yeah, man, there would be 225, which is up from 125. Safety net would create a close league. So again, there'd be no pressure, really and truly. UEFA proposals could mean as many as 6 teams qualifying from a single league, such as the Premier League in the future. In addition to the 3 extra coefficient places, France is understood to be offered a 4th automatic position in an expanded 36-team group stage. So make of that what you will, people. Moving away from that, and you know me, I don't really care for the Premier League and their fight for racism, because I think it's about, they're designed to try and not hurt people's feelings and not try and get actual justice. But the No Room for Racism action plan has been launched by the Premier League. The plan outlines a series of commitments aimed at creating greater access to opportunities and career progression for Black, Asian, and other ethnic minority groups in football, and actions to eradicate racial prejudice. It just sounds like the same old things you're doing, but you're just dressing it up differently, people. So not going to read out what Richard Masters has said. He said the obvious, but their commitments are increased diversity in leadership positions, increased representation of cultures from BAME backgrounds. Okay, you've said this already. Ensure every player has the opportunity to achieve their potential inside or outside of football. Support young players by promoting aspiration, education, and pathway to opportunities. Continue to take action against all form of racism wherever it occurs. Support club in setting a framework and clear targets to embed quality, equality, diversity, and inclusion across their organization. Hearing a lot of buzzwords, but how? How are you going to support clubs? How are you going to continue to take action? Are you going to put pressure on social medias? How are you going to support young players? Because a team like Tottenham is great. What do you do for the people around them? Tottenham, the club, do a lot of kick schemes and stuff. But what do the Premier League do? And that goes for everywhere else. Ensure every player has the potential. What are you going to do? Are you going to set them up to networks? Are you going to aim to break down barriers and close networks that see the same old individuals hired time and time again? What are you going to do to increase BAME backgrounds? Are you going to do, which I don't believe in this whole thing of BAME anyways, because, you could be black like me, you could be several other diverse things and you're thrown under that. So maybe that term in itself needs dropping. How are you going to increase diversity in leadership positions? So a lot of buzzwords, a lot of how though? How? I would have liked to have seen plans go around it. It's spoken about the numerous players that have been subject to social abuse at this moment in time. How can you really keep up? Every day after every game, there's another player being racially abused. So it's more of the same, really and truly. And big up Liam. It's like Liam has said, the goals are great. It sounds great. It sounds great when we're all motivated in a little room talking about racism, and where we get together for a year. But a year from now, what plans are you going to do? It's like me saying, I want to be rich. I want to be financially free. I want to do this. But how am I going to do that? Am I going to stop spending money how I spend it potentially now and look to change things? It's not making sense, man. It's not making sense. 4 spots is enough for the Prem. Maybe. Crazy, man. Continue to do nothing, man. Continue to do nothing. Yeah, we're gonna do what we already should be doing. Trust us. We'll see. Time will tell. A year from now, we'll probably get another little wrapped up thing. There'll probably be another changed thing. So we'll have to see what happens. They need action. You know, it is what it is. Let's see how they increase diversity, because that's something I'm passionate about. When I look at something like Arsenal, you know, you look at Arsenal, you look at Crystal Palace off the top of my head, you look at you look at Tottenham. When you look at the playing stuff, you see a bunch of multicultural players. When you look at the coaches, you might see Ledley King, but is Ledley King there because he's because Ledley King's there because he's Ledley King, and where are the other people? What do the physios look like? What do the advisors look like? People that are talking and making negotiations and transfers happening, what did they look like? So again, until I see that progression, that's all as someone, that's all I see in the media, in football, at the base level. They're in leadership positions. I don't see that. We all know people at the top hire their friends. So what are you going to do to break down those barriers? Are you going to set up events where these people that might not hire people that don't look like them, they're now in a room with people that they can get contacts with? So it's all the how. We don't speak about them pussy old clubs there, man. Unsubscribe if you're pre-ing them as well, pussy old team. But we ain't speaking on that team. But yeah. Get some couple more questions, people. Get them in. There's 173 of you. Please make sure you're hitting the like button. Big up the Twitch gang as well, people. Man said, I feel sorry for your Sunday league mates. Nah, man. Nah, I'm a cool guy, man. I'm a cool guy. Cool cat. I don't do nothing. I don't trouble people. No team at the moment, my guy. We're not speaking about Saliba. What Saliba did. I've made enough videos on it. Not that I want to. I've made 2 vids. We've all had our opinion on it. It is what it is. Trust me. Well, not Emma K, but AFC Emma K. Come on, man. Unsubscribe from that BS, man. To be honest, the number thing can get around it, but I'm not going to lie. I don't want to have to register with my official details for social media. It scares me. It scares me, but it scares me more how people are just allowed to go out there and just say mad things. Like, let's just say you lot watch my content, right? You lot could abuse me, get at the color of my skin, just say bare mad stuff about me. And then the next day, you lot could see me in the street and ask for pictures. For me, social media is already breeding some new diseases that we're going to see in 50 years. And for me, it's scary how, the people abuse. It's obviously people who don't like you, but more time, it could be people that are going home and doing that abuse to you. You don't even know. So on one hand, I would like to see social media. You kind of have to know who somebody is to sign up, because with that, people are going to, in theory, should fix up, because then you'd still get some twats that would probably say it in their, knowing who they are. But then something can be done around that. And I'm not talking about what you lot are talking about. People just need to get punched up. It's like that. I don't have time for racism and them things there, man. Young Mizzy said differently, though. Well gone for Reece Nelson. He was your best young player a couple of years ago. Now he hardly gets game time. He should have went on loan, in my opinion. What can I say, man? Everybody hates adversity. I still believe in him. I think this season's looking like it could be a waste. As you said there, my guy, there's a lot of football to be able to be played, and I hope he can. But I just think he struggled in the senior game at times, struggled for consistency, had a bit of a harsh time with injuries, and he should have went on loan this season. Should have went on loan in January. For whatever reason, it didn't happen, and I hope he gets a chance, because he's better than Willian, or how Willian's playing. But it is what it is. It is what it is, my guy. I don't know what to tell you, really. People have to get... Well, I already said that. Pardon me. Better late than never. Here a bit late. Hope you're doing well, DG. I'm good, man. I'm in good spirits. Willock is going to become a monster. He looks a better version of Ramsey at Newcastle. He's only played 90 minutes, if that. Let's calm it down. And I hope he does come back as a monster, because he's a better player for us, and we're all betting on it. The better players for Arsenal, the better we might be able to do, man. Man said the Photoshop skills are coming along, DG. Try it, man. It still ain't making no sense, but trying bit by bit. With the next round of Champions League fixtures coming up, which team across Europe do you reckon will make it far? I would have said Bayern Munich, but even they're looking a bit dodgy now. I'm going to stay with them, but I'm not really... Bayern Munich off their laurels, but I'm not really convinced, But the Spanish teams are not doing it. Let's be real, Ronaldo's still scoring, and any team with Ronaldo and Messi, so Juventus and Barca, you still got to take them seriously. But I would probably still say Bayern Munich. My bias wants to say PSG because of Mbappe and Neymar, and now they got Poch who can coach, but I don't think there is one, I have to give it to the people who hold the Champions League, so it's still got to be them, really and truly. What's your summer targets for the end of the season? Don't know really, my guy. I'd have to, you put me on the spot, but I've got some names really. The name I'd really like to bring is Neuhaus, but I don't think that's gonna happen, man. I really don't think that's gonna happen. When do you think Arsenal can lift the Champions League? When I get some real facial hair and I get some sideburns, let's see, man. Let's see. You never know. It could be Atletico's year. Simeone's doing bits, you know, man. With Man City, it's down to Pep. It's because for me, the last couple of times they've been in Europe, they've overcomplicated things, or he's the manager, so he specifically overcomplicated things, and that's what's gonna have to change, really. You know, for him, I think he overcomplicates things. I think he's hit with a bit of culture shock being an English team playing them. Atletico dark horses. So you and Emma believe in that. You know, who knows? It'd be nice to see something shaken up and things like that. Enrico has said, what stadium outside the Premier League would you want to visit? Well, I've been to the Nou Camp. Or I would have said that. The ones on every football fans list, man. You know what? Bayern Munich's ground, for the atmosphere, Dortmund's place, Madrid, the Bernabeu. Would like to watch a PSG game. PSG, Lyon, Saint Etienne, just their derby games, I'd say. But the typical stadiums, man, I'd say, like, if you was to make me make a bucket list, I would say Bernabeu, Bayern Munich, Borussia Dortmund. One of the big boys in Brazil or Argentina. I'm not really fussed, but I would like to experience that, you know, a River Plate versus Boca or something, and whatever an equivalent in Brazil would be, because, you know, South American very passionate, and I get to see a lot of South American players, obviously, when they go to Europe, but I rarely get to really watch South American football. It's only really now that you're seeing the Copa Libertadores over here in the UK on actual TV. Before you had to get a stream and that, so we know they're passionate and stuff like that, and things like that. But I would like to see a bit more of that, and I think the chance to see that personally, it'd be good, man. You know, overcomplicates and plays it a bit too smart, and it does backfire in Europe 100%. You know, Haaland is going on a mad one this Champions League. Dortmund is a team that looks like a good contender. The team that knocks them out is going to win it. Also, RB Leipzig. I'm not sure I can back the Dortmund one. You know, their last couple of games, they've even looked a bit shaky this season, but fair play. I don't know much about Cologne Stadium, so I can't really include them. We'll have to see, man. Yeah, you see San Siro, you know, you live in Milan, and, you know, I that's another one. So you're an Italian man, or you live in Italy, so you already know about the San Siro and the Turin, and I would say Napoli, but I've got an Italian mate, and he's advised me not to go around there, so I'm not going around there. You know, how can I miss out, you know, Ajax again, the prestigious ones and all of those things. Who wouldn't want to go and see them sort of things there? So I would say you're right on that. Big up, Ollie. You said, do you think Tuchel can do anything in the Champions League with Chelsea? Well, that's ultimately why he lost his job, really, innit? Because he didn't look like, you know, because he was doing poor in the league. He didn't look like he was going to be PSG would be able under him to get to another final. Who knows, man? Who knows? You know, who knows? He's got his tactics there early. You know, he could be a dark horse. You know, he's experienced, but I'm not sure, my guy. I think the Champions League for Chelsea right now probably come out of that, but who knows? You know, who knows, man? I don't think so, though. I think he'll do his thing in the league right now. I'm not too sure for that, but you're a Chelsea fan, and I know you want me to be wrong. Tell would have said, big up DG in each and every time. Been a bit hectic on my side, so not been able to be here too tough. But it's nice to catch up when I got a hot minute away from the speakers. Big up yourself, my guy. You know, I'm always here. You don't have to, you know, if you miss a live, you miss a live, innit? The beautiful thing about YouTube, it lives. It stays on there. And everyone can catch up in their own bit of time, man. Appreciate everybody locked in, people. Please make sure you're hitting the like button. You know, San Siro and Stadio Olimpico, I would love to, man. I can't lie. Any of the countries I'm going to in the ideal world, I want to go with the countrymen. That's just how I am. Like, I don't want to get finessed. I don't want people to be speaking things I don't understand. You know, it's simple things. It's like when I used to go to South London. I ain't going without my friends that are from South London. Like, you don't know the thing. I want to see Ivan Toney at the Emirates. Think he's a good player, but I'd probably pass at this moment in time. Daily Life has said, if Arteta were to leave Arsenal, hypothetically, would you prefer Nagelsmann due to his good management of young players? I'd be all over Nagelsmann in a footballing sense to come to Arsenal, but I'm not too sure with him and young players. You know, I think he's a bit overrated with young players. Not the players that happen to be young and key players, but that, you know, I wasn't really too happy with him when he had Reece Nelson. I'm not gonna lie, and I think he's had a couple of kids who have looked at that, man. What else have we said here? Are Arsenal linked with any big players this summer? Probably will be, but whether you can get them is another thing, man. We'll have to see, man. Grealish, I would love Grealish. Gravenberch would love that. Who wouldn't want Zaha? You know, would love all of these players. Well, it's not even, I like to explore, but I just feel this is naturally when you're with somebody that knows the thing and the surroundings, it makes sense because something might happen, you get finesse, you don't even know what's going on, you know. That's what I like to be around personally. You know, don't take no chances. And for me, especially with the language barrier, when I can't understand what someone's saying and I think they're talking about me, I can't I get a bit achy. I'm like, yo, not that I think they'd be racist or that, but I'm like, yo, no one better be talking about trying to finesse me or something. I don't like it. John Boy said, DG tapping in with the local. I respect it. Well, you got when in Rome, make like the Romans. That's what I'm on, you know. I'm like, listen, you got to be able to camouflage. Enrico said, do you follow any other sports, i.e. basketball, American football? Well, I wouldn't say I follow, but I watch the Super Bowl. I wouldn't say I'm a fan of NFL, but I've always liked to watch it from a tactical point of view just to see what the parallels with football are. And I've been watching it a bit more. I can't tell you teams and shout Brady, but I can tell you a couple of teams and players, but I can't give you extensive conversation like how I can with football. Basketball, I'll watch it, but I'm not like onto it. I would say get a guy called Gavi, get Nico, Barcelona. They probably would have been snapped up already. There's one Croatian goalkeeper. Look into it. I ain't got the name, but Croatian goalkeeper. Just remember Croatian goalkeeper. And I wish I had his name. There's a couple centre halves, man. You definitely need to get into NBA. Not even tall enough to play basketball, but yeah, probably. My passion is football. I don't think you can fake it. You know, I'll watch basketball as well. I mean, I'll watch basketball. Boxing would be the one anything I'd have to say I'd follow, if anything. And I think even follows a massive claim in that one. Do you get what I'm saying? So we'll have to see, man. I love Louis van Gaal. I think he could be good for the young players, but I think Louis van Gaal is how I was looking at Jose, how I looked at Wenger. I think the game's kind of past them sort of man. They're down. I think you can invent roles in a club for them, but day-to-day management, I think it's a myth. Yeah, man, watch UFC. I keep forgetting that's a sport as well. It sounds bad and I sound disrespectful, but you're right, man. You're right. Good to see you as well, John Wayne, man. I hope you're all in good spirits. But I'm going to have to love and leave you guys, though, man. We've been here over an hour. You know, we've been doing some later streams. You know, I'm probably next week, I'm going to go back to the 11:30s. The reason I've been doing it late is because the analytics has been saying this is when statistically you lot are online, but it seems like you lot are missing the 11 a.m. So I'll hit you up, man. I'll hit you up on that. A man said, would you get into anime? Nah. It's not for me still. But please make sure you're hitting the like button. Tomorrow I'll be back to preview the Arsenal versus Leeds and things like that. If there's any other Arsenal points, you know I'm good for it. Please make sure you hit the like button. I'm out of here. Like Sia said, please make sure you hit the like as you leave.